Hello, welcome to the part 4 of Face Manager usage in Tekla Structure. Please note that I'm using this model to demonstrate how less time-consuming Face Manager can make your work a lot easier when it comes to organizing your work, emphasizing on accuracy, speed, and proper way of generating drawings from a well and neatly done model of this kind. For example, without juggling up everything, getting confused, or even contemplating of disassociating yourself from the outcome of the work you've took a lot of time to do. Hey, please kindly join me in this presentation. I'm your presenter, Maurice Dimba. Let's kick off. If you take a look on this model, I've already placed a pile in here, and this at the moment should not worry you a lot because I've done this a model of this kind several times. So I've just picked some specifications of model I did previously on these videos, and I wanted to use same specs to demonstrate how you can organize your work using Face Manager. And after organizing your work using Face Manager, the same will assist you in generating your work in Faces to avoid being pushed to deliver drawings. I mean, in short, to avoid more pressure. Now, at this point, what I want to place here is I want to put purlins under. I want to put purlins under face as purlins, and cleats in Face Manager and as cleats, so that when I decide to run the cleats only to create drawings for, to create shop drawings for cleats, I'll be able to create drawings for cleats only. And when I decide to submit to run and submit drawings for purlins, I'll do the same step by step and submit them to the fabricators or to the workshop without to avoid a lot of pressure of you are taking a lot of time to deliver the drawings. So what you might do later on is just to run a 3D of the whole model when you're under no pressure, because you've piled much pressure, you've overwhelmed the fabricators with work, you've delivered everything to the workshop. Now what is remaining just a 3D, which is not really necessary for them. Now I'll take you straight to applications and components here for our cleat. I being used to numerical names of these connections, I'll just go ahead and type 2 there, and the appropriate cleat will come up. I prefer the cold rolled sleeve. I'll pick that and that, and press my middle button on the mouse. I'll right click and come to interrupt to disable that active command. Now I'll close this. I'll come to navigate, and the navigator will rotate this using the mouse. You'll see this. There's a cleat and sleeve there. There's a sleeve, there's a cleat. Now it's upon you if you want to use the cleat only or you want to use both sleeve and cleat. Now, after creating this, I want to categorize this or classify this as cleat under Face Manager to make my work a little bit easy when I'm done with the model and I want to deliver something in the workshop for them to do. Maybe they can start with the base plate, I follow with the cleats, I follow with the purlins, I follow with the rafter beams, I follow with the haunches, columns step by step to an extent you're under no pressure in what you're doing. Now let's move on. I've created a clit here and sleeve. Then I'll go to face. I'll come to face manager. Under face manager, I want to create another classification, but this time round is clits. Just type clits. There you are. Then after clicking on it, make sure this art comes here. The moment you see art comes here means that name is current. I'll click current. I'll make it current. After making current, I'll come to objects by face. I'll pick that and click modify. I'll click OK. I would like to check whether what I've done actually has taken effect. I'll come back to face manager and come to clits and click face by face. Actually, it has taken effect. The moment I click that, it will be selected. Now, even if I use the same to populate it all over, thereafter, the classification will remain the same under face manager. So the moment I click on this and run this part, all of them will be created. But since the settings and the markings and the drilling and the bolting, everything are the same, just run one and use for the rest. Having done that, I want to mirror this, and I'll use this spot and this spot as my mirror line. But prior to doing that, I'll pick this. After picking that, I would like to change the orientation of my XY axis. How to change or how to reorient your XY axis? Just go to view, come to work plane tool, click on that drop down arrow and come to work plane tool. Then just click on that spot, right click and interrupt to evict that active command. Now I'll be able to mirror this, but prior to mirroring this, I want to check whether everything has been selected. I'll right click and come to special copy. I'll come to mirror then I'll pick that spot. I'll pick this spot as my, let me make this active. I'll pick that spot as my mirror line, run all the way to this end, right there, and click copy and click OK. Once you've done that, you are off that stage, and our next step is to populate these. You can take a look and have and see what we've done. From there, we want to populate these along the rafter. So we'll again change the orientation of our XY axis. We'll come to work plane tool, pick on the work plane and click on the slope of the rafter there, and right click, come to interrupt to exit from that active command. Now I want to populate these along the slope of the rafter. I'll just select on that. Right click and come to special copy, linear, and along the x-axis I will feed here 1.2 meters. I want 14 of these. I'll just go ahead and click copy. We've forgotten. What we are going to do is to undo this and go back to Face Manager. We'll go back to Face Manager under Drawings and Report. Click on that. Under that, we'll add purlins. We'll add purlins. Under purlins, since we've made a mirror of this, now we just have to select everything there. We just have to make this current, then come to Object by Face. We'll select these two, then we come to Modify and feed that category under Face Manager. Just go ahead and click Modify. It's not yet picked. We'll come under that spot. We'll pick the name first, then come there, then highlight everything we want to categorize under purlin, then come and click Modify. To verify that, you'll be able to go back to Face Manager and come to Purlins and click Objects by Face. You can click Objects by Face and you'll be able to see everything has been highlighted there. Now we can go back and start populating this along the rafter. Now I'll click on that, right click and come to Special Copy Linear and just go ahead and feed the interval measurements between center to center, center to center of the interval measurement of purlin to purlin. This is 1.2, and how many are they? They are 14 along the x-axis. I'll just go ahead and click copy and wait for the result. Just wait for the result to come up. Though it is dependable on the speed of your computer. There we are. We just go ahead and click OK and zoom out and check whether what we've done actually is right. We'll do the same thing this end, but we'll do the same thing this end. We'll click on that. But prior to doing that, we have to change the orientation of our x-axis. Just zoom out. We'll go back to View, Work Plane Tool, and click on that slope of the truss of the rafter. We'll come out of that command, click on this, right click and come to Special, copy Special and go to Linear, and take note that we are on x-axis and it has taken the slope of this rafter at an interval of 1.2 center to center of the purlins. We need 14 of them, similar to this end. I'll just go ahead and click OK and wait for the result to come up. Just give it time. It will generate everything, or it will populate everything along that rafter. Accept that, right click and interrupt. Now we have done this. Now we want to populate this to the rest of the rafter. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select everything and populate this to the rest. I'll select that by pressing Ctrl button on your mouse. Make sure you select everything. Just take your time and select accurately and avoid picking unwanted members. Just go on. I've selected that. I'm selecting that. I'm selecting that. That. And selecting that. And selecting that. Now I want to populate this along the y-axis. What I'm going to do, I just go ahead and right click and go to special copy and come to linear, but now I will ignore the x-axis. I'll feed 0 there, and taking into consideration that the distance between this column to this column is 6 meters. We will apply the same thing here. We'll feed 6 meters here. But how many do we want? We want 24 of them. This will match the number of columns. Interval measurements, which is 6 meters. Now, what I'm going to do, what is the direction of x, or I mean the y-axis? It is a positive direction. Now there is no need of adding a negative here. Now I'll just go ahead and click copy and wait for the results. Though copying might take a little bit of time. This depends a lot on the how high is your comp speed. Just give it time. It will give us the right result. So we want to copy this side first, then copy this side first. Then I'll show you. We'll go to Face Manager and invoke the Purlins category. You'll see everything being highlighted. Now it will be upon you to decide whether you want to create the shop drawings for the Purlins. There you go, just a click and you submit that. Then you can decide to create shop drawings for the cleats and the sleeves. You go to Face Manager, select sleeves, go straight and generate the drawings for sleeves and cleats. Submit them. Do the same to rafters. Do the same to every part. You move progressively with less and less pressure. This is now the beauty of Tekla Structure. If you try to dig deep into its usage. So I felt that it is important to share this with the YouTubers, I mean the followers of this YouTube channel. Let's wait for the result. It won't take that lot of time. Just check our measurements here under this dialog box of copy linear. We have along the y-axis we have 6 meters interval in between 24 columns or 24 rafters. We fed 6 meters. Now we want 24 of this kind, these 24 rows of purlins at an interval of 6 meters. It will be generated in just a moment. There we are. It has been copied, but it seems it is in excess, which should not be a worry. You just go ahead and click expand or do not expand and click OK. Then zoom in to the very end. Just zoom in to see where the excess is. Just zoom closer. Right click and interrupt that. Just zoom closer to that end. Now this is what is in excess. Now what we're going to do is just to highlight everything here and delete that excess. Perfect. If you come closer, you'll see that this has been joined, the clips are well done here. Neatly done. This is how big it is. Now we want to do the same thing this end. Now what we are going to do again is just to reorient our XY axis to take the slope of this rafter. Now we'll come back to our plane tool and just click on that slope of the rafter, right click and exit that work plane tool command. Then we'll just go one by one and select the purlins we intend to populate alongside y-axis. Just zoom out, just click that, select everything here, just select that, select that, to the very end. I'll pick this, I'll pick that, I'll pick that, I'll pick that, pick that, then zoom out, zoom in or out, press Ctrl, pick that, and pick the final purlin, that. Then right click, come to special copy, linear, and we'll change this to 23. Then along the y-axis, the direction now will be negative because the y-axis is facing this direction. Now we'll feed here negative. Now we'll just go straight and click copy. Then we'll wait for the result to come out. There we are. It has copied. Just go ahead and click OK. Then zoom in. First of all, let's exit from this copy command. Let's zoom in and out. You'll be able to see that we've populated this up to very end here. Now we want an overlap of this purlin at the end of this rafter by 300. That should not be a very hard task. What you can do just to double click on that and sample on one. Just drag this aside by clicking on it. Just double click on this, come to position, then you can either try from start just 600 and click OK and see which direction is it extending from. 600, that's big. We can do 300, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to select everything here. We're going to click on the screen and select everything here. Select everything there, press Control and select everything here. Then zoom in, zoom out, press Control on your keyboard and select everything here, not forgetting that. Now on the final one, you double click, then come to position and feed 300, and just one click, modify, and everything will extend itself with that margin of 300. Just give it time, you will see the result at this end. That's how simple it is. Perfectly done. Just go ahead and click OK, and you will be able to see that at this end. Just click on that, you'll be able to see we have the cleat, and we can do the same thing this end. Can do the same thing this end and do the rest the other end. Highlight that. First of all, run a sample and see the direction of the extension. Just double click on that and drag this aside by pressing your left button. Come to position and feed -300 there, and click modify and see the direction of extension. That is not the direction we intend to see. You try 300. That is not the direction we intend to see. We'll take that to 0 and feed here 300 and see the direction of extension. We'll now feed here negative, and this will be okay with us. Perfect. Now we've understood that our extension will be on the start, but on a negative direction. Now we'll just click on the empty screen and highlight everything here. Highlight the two, then come here, highlight this, and pick on that, select on that, select on that, then zoom in and out, then pick on these, pick on that, 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 then the very last one you pick on that. But remember, on the very last one you double click, come to position, and you feed -300, and you see the result instant. Just wait, you'll see the result here. It's still processing. The information is finished. Go ahead and apply, accept. The very last one has not taken effect. What we can do, just double click on it and feed the same information here under position and feed -300 there, and come to modify and click modify. It will extend itself. Now you do the same to the other part also to make this look more done professionally. Now I'll redraw this. I'll right click on the empty screen and redraw this, which means refreshing the whole model. I'll come to navigate, rotate with mouse, and turn this round. Turn that round. That's how big this structure is. Now I want now to highlight the purlins. I'll come to drawings and report. I'll come to faces. When I come to purlins and click on purlins, and I would request to see the face under which purlins are, and to see which parts are the purlins in this model. I just go ahead and click objects by faces. I'll click on that, and you'll see everything under purlins being selected. You can see this has been selected. The columns have not been selected because we've not highlighted on them, or we've not placed a request to see which parts in this model are under columns. Now, having selected this, it's easy here. Just come to create drawings, come here to create drawings, and can use even catalog here. Then you scroll down to you clone it to the sample of a shop drawing of how to detail purlin, and you'll be good to go. You'll be able to generate a shop drawing for purlins straight away and submit that to the fabricators. Now, having known that, I'll now go to cleats. I'll pick on cleats, and I'll go straight and click on faces of cleats. I want to see which parts are categorized under cleats. I'll be able to see that. And if you take a look at if you take a look down here, you'll see that the current face is number 8, which is purlins, which is the current face. It's purlins. Now let me zoom closer. You'll see cleats have been selected. All these are cleats. Cleats have been selected, and it is as easy as this. What you see here are cleats highlighted. Cleats have been highlighted. Now I can come here and under drawings, and go to create drawings, and go straight. I need the assembly drawings, or I need the single part of the selected parts under cleats. It's as simple as that. Now I'll go ahead and pick on rafter beams, and go ahead and request to see this. I want to see the rafter beams. You'll see the rafter beams being selected or being highlighted as rafter beams. So it's upon you to apply what you intend to do after selecting that. Do you want to run shop drawings? Do you want to run do you want to run a material list? Do you want to run? It's upon you. You can run the material list to procure whatever you want to procure, or you can run these to be submitted to the workshop for the fabrication. Now in this model we have this. We have pad footing, columns, base plates, haunch, cleats, and purlins. You can run material list for each of these. You can run material list for columns. You can run materialist for base plates. You can do the same for haunch. You can do the same for rafter beams. You can do the same for cleats and purlins. You can subdivide them and submit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of materialist of different parts of this model. Thanks a lot. Then let's move on and deselect that and just have a walk through the model. It's so big, so deselecting it comes a bit hectic. Now it has been done. Now we want to go to perspective view of this. We'll just double click on the screen and we'll come to view properties, and under projection we'll come to perspective and click modify and go to apply and accept that command. Then we'll come to view. Under view we'll come to navigate, rotate with mouse, and we'll be able to have a perspective view of this model. We can now get inside this model and view everything. You can walk in and see. You can actually walk in up to the very end. You can turn this around beautifully like this. On the same thing, on the same perspective view can allow you to see all the parts without a lot of maneuver. Now I'll go to drawings and that, and come to face, and maybe I want to see the columns. Now I'll come to columns and click objects by face. Let's see. It has been selected. Everything under columns have been highlighted. That's it. And thanks a lot for watching this video. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. And let's meet on the next presentation. And thank you. Bye bye. I'm Maurice Dimba, your presenter.